Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome, Chaos Squad. This is Chaos Reviews, and we are reviewing episode 10, New Best Friends of The Walking Dead from last night. So, it wasn't too bad of an episode. I don't think it was like a super great episode, but it was good. I don't know. All the pieces are starting to come together, which is kind of nice. Basically, spoiler warning, obviously. If you're watching a review thing, it should be kind of straightforward. But, so we get Daryl and Carol, they reunite. Then we get to see who Rick was smiling at, and it actually was Gabriel. But he was Reverend napped. he was kidnapped by this new group who I'm going to call them the garbage men or the garbage people. I don't know. They don't really get a name, but they kidnapped him. Basically, stole his stuff. Apparently, they kidnapped him the episode before, which I don't think it really showed an indication that he had been taken against his own will. But I guess that explains why he left a couple hints and stuff like that for Rick to go find them. So Rick's smiling because, like, he was right, I guess. Gabriel did not screw them over, which is good. And Rick gets to see this, when they first enter the dump or whatever they're living in, it's kind of goes by a bird's eye view and shows them almost like ants kind of forming all around them in this like strategic like double circle thing, which is kind of interesting. But I don't when they stand on top of the garbage pile, and it all looks kind of weird. I don't know if that pile was that big to see that big of a view, but I think it was trying to give you like a perspective of how much they know, because how much they can see and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, so Rick figures out a little bit about these people. Carol's reunited with Daryl. Daryl almost gets talked into killing Carol without him knowing, and then he keeps asking, like, so who's the girl? Who are we sacrificing? And he finally coughs up, says it's Carol, and I was like, oh shit, man, you picked the wrong person for this job, right? What else happened? Negan's group and the Kingdom obviously are having more and more friction and issues here, so it's just a matter of time till they join the alliance. For the most part, that was the episode in a nutshell. So, some funny things, from the episode. AMC keeps doing these hand teasers with Rick, like, because he loses his hand in the book. And I don't know how many times Negan's made a reference to him chopping off his hand, where it's looked like Rick's gonna lose his hand, and he hasn't. And he fights this armored zombie that's got like spikes and almost look like swords all through him, and he's got like a helmet that's like welded to his head with like spikes protruding out of his head everywhere. His name's like Winslow. It's quite the funny name, but the leader pushed Rick down into the pit to see if he's a softie or not. And when Rick fights him, he gets stabbed in the hand. Then I'm kind of thinking, like, is it gonna get infected? Will they have to cut his hand off due to infection? So that kind of ran through my mind. That was a little bit of I think AMC kind of being like gotcha kind of thing, right? Daryl lies to Carol, saying everybody's okay. They beat the Saviors, which obviously isn't true. He didn't want to give her the burden of thinking, because she left, basically, Glenn and Abe, all those people, got affected by, get kidnapped, etc. Jerry, is that his name? The big samurai-looking guy with the big axe for the Kingdom? Damn, that guy's just so happy, right? That character is hilarious. He was just so happy when he dropped off that cobbler to Carol. Just had to bring that up. I thought that was a little hilarious. Let's see. Oh, the Savior's that dickhead that keeps I always forget Ezekiel's right hand man's name, but he always gets the shit kicked out of him every time the Saviors come by for a pickup. Happens again. Morgan kind of stands up for him, and the kid that Morgan was training in. Anyways, Morgan loses his stick, so you don't take a guy's stick. Shit's gonna happen. Is that gonna be kind of the turning point for Morgan now that he lost his stick that was his bow staff that his friend gave to him? I don't know. Morgan just kind of drives me nuts sometimes. That he's like super graceful and thinking like peace is the answer or whatever, but obviously like the Saviors don't care. Like they'll kill you. Yeah, so that zombie fight scene was kind of cool. It was kind of weird though, but it was pretty cool how it like came out of the wall and stuff like that. And I was just like, shit, this is crazy. I was thinking maybe he was gonna rip one of the spikes off and that's how he's gonna kill him, but he like uses a piece of glass and buries him in garbage, which is a little bit more savage. But I don't know. It was interesting. Something else I want to talk about too. The new group. I'm not sure what to think about them. I thought they were going to be the Amazons or whatever, the women from that Tara found. But it seems like they're going to be like the wolves and just be completely irrelevant, possibly, which is super annoying. Stop introducing these groups that have no relevance. It was basically just a filler episode that like cartoons, animes, and other shows will do just to kind of fill time, because like they haven't been shown ever since. She's never mentioned it to Rick, but it could still come up. It could be jumping the gun early, but I mean the wolves or the W's, whatever, the World Wide Webs, whatever you want to call them, they disappeared and they have just zero relevance really, right? I mean, I guess they kind of, I think that's where Dwight came from in the show, I guess, but whatever, right? So but this new group, I don't know, they're a bunch of like they claim they don't fight people, they don't bother people, they just take stuff. They're just kind of like weasels or whatever that kind of sneak in, take your stuff, and they're out. They just don't like to confront people. But Rick promised them a lot of guns in order for them to help them. And there was a little bartering thing at the end, which was kind of funny. Like, you get 1/3 once we win the war, and they're like, we get a half. He's like, a third, a half. It goes back and forth. He's like, all right, a third, but we keep your shit that we took in the first place. And Rick's like, nah. And eventually they settle on, like, I think all the canned foods and guns or something they took from them. I don't know how much of a help they're going to be, but it looks like they got numbers. I don't think they were all there, and they know how to hide and be sneaky and jump people, so that's kind of interesting, right? So, rest in peace Winslow, that's a huge thing of the episode. Get to see Daryl kind of interacting with Shiva, the tiger, a little bit, but he starts to head back to the hilltop at the end of the episode, which I think's kind of a stupid move, because the Saviors do a lot of checking up there, so it doesn't seem like the safest spot for him to go. But whatever, I guess. But I guess all in all the pieces are starting to come together. All the groups that are gonna join and band together to take down Negan and his people. But I don't know. It seems like just more groups, more stories. It's adding a lot more filler and a little bit of a dragginess, but I might be being a little bit too generous, but I don't want to be too rough. 7.5 out of 10, I think, is a fair assessment for that episode. I don't think it was terrible by any means, but I don't think it was super good. I don't know. Not too much happened in the end, really, but that's gonna be my rating, the Chaos rating. I've seen some other reviewers giving it 9+ out of 10, and it's got to be a good episode for that to happen. I mean, the Winslow thing was sweet, and there was some pluses for the episode, but 9.5, 9, whatever out of 10, that's way too much. I think this episode deserves between a 7 and an 8, so that's where I'm going to give it 7.5. But that's my review for this week. Hope you enjoyed watching. Drop me some feedback down below. If you like it, drop me a like. If you hate me, drop me a dislike. If you want to see some more, maybe drop me a subscription and check in every week because I'm back on the train of doing these. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Peace out.